Hi everyone, and welcome to our Chat and Vibe series for the upcoming Vitality Festival. It is an amazing 9-day health and wellbeing festival. It's all free and it's online. We've got 70 leading experts in the health and wellness field. And today we've got one of those amazing people, Zoe Kanat, who is here. She'll be one of the presenters at the upcoming Vitality Festival starting on the 31st of October. Thanks for coming along today, Zoe.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Nice to
Why
be.
don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved in meditation?
Okay. So, how far back do I go? I sort of got into yoga and meditation in my early 20s. I think my mum introduced me to it all, and I really was in it for the physical kind of aspect. And then jump forward quite a few years, and I had my first child, and I experienced postnatal depression. And so I was introduced then to mindfulness and meditation. And it was kind of like a bit of a lifesaver. It really supported me in my process to getting better. And prior to that, I'd studied counselling and psychotherapy. So I was sort of had a private practice going. And a girlfriend of mine asked me if I would teach her, this is about maybe 10 years ago, would I teach her how to meditate? And so she came over and she started coming once a week, and then she invited a friend. And for some reason, everyone started to lie down. And I had never come across any meditations that were lying down at this stage. And I just started guiding them into relaxation meditations. And it really was quite powerful, incredibly powerful. And then slowly but surely, I started coming across different teachers who were doing the same thing. And at that time, I felt like this sort of feels like I'm cheating, like I'm meditating, but I'm lying down. I feel a bit lazy. And then I was listening to a podcast, and I was listening to this woman talk about the same kind of thing, and it was called Yoga Nidra. It was a lying down meditation practice, and she'd written a book called Daring to Rest, and my ears just pricked up, and I was just like, I really want to know about this. And so that led me into looking into what this practice was that I kind of intuitively was doing myself. And so I am a mindfulness and meditation coach, as well as a Yoga Nidra guide. So this is what
Fantastic.
I mainly do. Yeah.
Amazing. And I mean, I think rest is so important. We live in such a fast society where everybody's just go, go, go. We go from one thing to the next. And I think one of the blessings of COVID, especially here in Victoria, and I know elsewhere in the world, we've really been told stay at home, stay still, more or less. You can't go out too much.
Yeah.
So can you share with us what are some of the benefits of really resting?
Yeah. Well, resting, and a lot of people will think, oh, I'm going to do some self-care, I'm going to rest. And they might watch a movie, they might catch up with a friend or have a glass of wine or something like that. And as much as that is really nice to do and important, it's not really resting. And so with the practice that I teach, so what happens is you lie down and you're guided. So the benefit of that is it's effortless. And the method we use to get into the state of Yoga Nidra, which I'll explain in a minute, is relaxation. So often with meditation techniques, it's all about concentration. This takes you into that deep state of rest through relaxation. So it's just a win-win. And what happens is when you go through the process of Yoga Nidra, and when you're led in, your brainwave states go into a state much like sleep. So you're going down into these deep, slow brainwave states, delta brainwave states, which is what one of the most restorative and restful states that you can be in for your body. It's often where you go when you're, say, put into an induced coma, where the body can really be in a state of restoration. So these benefits are just so powerful for not only your mind, but your physical body. Yeah.
Oh, sounds divine. I feel like lying down right now. And, and a lot of people talk about the fact that when we get into a deep state of rest or even deep states of meditation, it can be the equivalent of sleeping. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So that is what happens is we move from waking to a dream-like state into deep sleep states. But in Yoga Nidra, there's an aspect that is awake. So it's like this really sort of gentle space of being almost like being asleep. Your body is asleep, your mind is asleep, but there's this really tiny trace of awareness. And so not only is it restful, restorative for the mind and the body, but it's quite powerful because the analytical mind is sort of like in the background. So you can do amazing things like plant intentions, and the unconscious mind really absorbs those intentions. So not only is it restorative and restful, but it's also really transformational when you practice it. And often, at the beginning, a lot of students find that they just fall asleep, and that's completely fine. Because that's what you need, that's what the body needs. But over time, when you practice, you kind of grow the muscle of allowing your whole mind and body to go into that really deep, restful state, but staying awake. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds divine. And I know a lot of people are really tired during this time, They're all the pressures, the emotional, the mental pressures, the financial pressures, it's really making people tired. What you're going to show and teach people at the Vitality Festival is, do people need experience for something like this?
Absolutely not. So that's all, that's also the beauty, is you're guided. So literally what you need is a place where you won't be disturbed. And then I encourage people to have a few props, like, a pillow, maybe a blanket, because your body temperature decreases, and set yourself up so that you're super, super comfortable. So you're not sitting up in a chair. You can, but it's so luxurious to lie down and just be guided into this space. So it's an effortless practice, and the less you try, the more you'll go into this state. So no experience required. Absolutely not.
And I know from my own experience of doing the Yoga Nidra, it's almost like you can feel the stress just melting off you, isn't it? It's like, it's such a great process to let go, especially of all the stress that people are going through. And even I know now there's a lot of people who are quite angry about circumstances. So is that something that people could potentially experience, this letting go or release?
Completely, yeah. And I think that also one of the strengths of this practice is, it's hard to let go. It's really hard. And that's why people are having trouble sleeping. You need to let go to be able to fall asleep. And so that is why, to have someone guide you in, it's almost like you get to this state and you're like, how did I get there? You're just following this really gentle guidance. And what happens is you literally lose the sensitivity of your body, and you really merge with the space around you, and you sort of feel completely spacious. And I've had so many people do it for the first time and just say, what was that? What just happened? I feel like I've had a 10-hour sleep and I'm feeling so relaxed, but I've got all this energy. I feel like I've, had so much rest, and I've got way more energy, and I feel revitalized. And so it's just, it's quite unassuming the way it just happens, and you go to this place and you just merge. You literally merge into the space. And it's a beautiful feeling. It's really like you just become air, and you feel like you're floating. Um, and yeah. So I'm really excited to be able to share this with people who have no experience of, say, meditation or mindfulness or anything like that, or this practice, and yet they'll definitely feel the benefits. So.
And so during this time of COVID, have you found some great challenges that you've had to deal with yourself? How have you found this time?
Look, I'm an introvert, so put me on my own and, close the door and I'm quite happy. But at the same time, I've got a family, I've got teenagers, I've got a daughter doing year 12 who happened to just break her elbow, her right arm, so she's not going to be able to write. And, just I think facing ourselves and being with ourselves, it's like being on a silent retreat for a whole year. You're constantly looking at things within yourself that you might not want to see. And, it's really easy to have a glass of wine or watch some Netflix, and that's great too. It's nice to sort of switch off and just numb out a little bit, but it's also, these challenges are there. And so, I've found at times it's like waves come and go, and I might feel really flat and really overwhelmed, and then I've just found that my core practices, my meditation, a bit of movement, sharing with my friends or family how I'm feeling makes such a difference. And but yeah, it's challenging. It is challenging, and just looking at what's going on all over the world, and change.
Yeah. And I think what you were saying about having your practice, you've got obviously your mindfulness practice, and you've got your meditation or your yoga nidra, and some movement-based activity. I think for most of the people who are watching this right now, I think that's a real key, is for people to find their own way to get things moving, but also something to de-stress at the same time is really, really important for everyone.
Yeah, or just soothing the nervous system, because I think, naturally in this situation, you're sort of quite alert and looking out for, how do we protect ourselves? And so we're in that sort of low level or high level sort of fight flight response, and without even knowing it. And then so just to balance that out, to give your whole system a break, is just whatever you can find to do that makes such a difference. It really does. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here for our chat today. We really appreciate it. I can't recommend Zoe enough. She's very, very skilled at taking you into a really deep place of relaxation and peace inside yourself. Fantastic for rejuvenating your body. And I all know right now we all need some rejuvenation and to revitalize the way we're feeling. So thank you, Zoe, for coming along today, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the Vitality Festival, which is starting on the 31st of October.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm really excited to meet, or to share what I've got to share with everybody, and looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay.